Good day, everyone. We are here live, and I am going to do an totally impromptu um, warm up session with you. I haven't sang too much all day, so this is a good warm up for people that are like, oh, I've got a rehearsal coming up in a week. And if you're like me, I'm really busy, so I don't sing every night intensely until I got a show coming up, a rehearsal, and we actually have a rehearsal coming up soon. We're going to be rehearsing actually one or two of those new songs we're going to be recording on the new CD coming up. Um, so I'm going to start my intense vocal rehearsing for the next 2 weeks. But what here I wanted to share how I warm up. As I've shared in the description, it's simple, it's fast. I don't like to spend a lot of time warming up. So this is what I do. And I'm going to talk more at the end than I do at the beginning. But you do want to have some hot tea available. Love that cup. Talk about that later. And some water. So it's very simple. There's no music, and you can do it anywhere. You can do it on the way to the gig. You can do it in your house, on the way to the rehearsal. And I just start with some humming. So there's all kinds of ways to warm up your voice on the web. But this is what I've learned. These are the three. I do actually just do three things. I hum, and I do the scales, and then I do this really intense thing. It's quite lovely. Anyway, so we start with the humming. And you can do any kind of hum you want. Just imagine some kind of melody in your head or a phrase you want to hum, whatever it is. Just make sure you you'll see. Just I don't think you're going to be able to follow along with me, but you can try or create your own hum as I'm going along. I'm going to start like in alto range. So I'm got breath going down here in my diaphragm. I don't really breathe through my chest, and I'm imagining my vocal area open and free during this. No pressure in my face. I'm totally relaxed. Everything's happening in the vocal cords. Very relaxed and easy. No pressure. No trying to do anything special. Sometimes you burp. You don't have to sit here to do it. You can actually walk around your kitchen, walk around, maybe loading gear, but you definitely want to stay upright and kind of have a good posture while you're doing it. Going a little higher. You might feel a little strain when you're first starting out. That's all right. And also, if you haven't sang in a while on a regular basis, like me tonight, again, I'm raw. I haven't sang in a while or really warmed up too much. I went through a cold and sickness and had to lay all off of that. But now I've got this rehearsal coming up, like I said, so I'm going to be a little tight in the upper parts. But that will improve as I do each day with this exercise and the singing. Oh, that was lovely. Especially at the beginning in the humming, you want to stay more in the lower registers. Kind of warms things up for the eventual rise up into the higher registers. And as you come into the higher registers, a lot of people say, put the emphasis in your nose and in your cheeks, your jaw, your upper cheekbones area, your jaw, so that you feel the higher notes coming up into here. So you're not feeling as much strain in your throat. You're really focusing on the thought process being front and center here. It's kind of airy when you haven't rehearsed for a while. Just try to be gentle and don't press past what's comfortable. If it gets too tight up in there, go back to the lower register for a while. Especially in the beginning when you're just learning to do vocal exercises to warm up your voice, you don't want to be distracted. You want to close your eyes and really think about where you're feeling things, so you're not straining, so you're keeping that upright posture, you're not nervous, you're relaxed. Your voice needs to relax as it warms up. It's like gentle stretching before you go out and do a run. Imagine like a tube. I'm laughing because I noticed that I shifted keys. It's okay. It doesn't matter. You go with what the flow is. Kind of like a moaning. Have fun with it. You can even make a video of yourself and watch. But you don't want to damage yourself. Go back to the basics. Basically, you just create humming and you do it gently and you really pay attention to where your vocal's going and try not to take yourself too seriously, but also you realize you're warming up a very delicate instrument in your throat. It's very delicate. It's very important that you warm it up. So like a muscle, if you try to just go out cold, you will pull it. You will pull it. It'll get strained. And a lot of times, when I'm warming up my voice the first 2 or 3 days, I get a little hoarse the next day because it's not used to that. The vocal cords are actually hitting against each other when you're doing these vocalese exercises. So they're, I don't know, I don't want to use this terminology, but it's almost like they're, like muscles, you almost kind of damage them when you overwork them slightly. And so the muscles are hitting together and they're getting a little rough, and that's all right. They'll get used to it. I'm not an expert at this. I just know what I do and what I felt and how to tell you to go gentle and expect a little raspiness the next day if you've pushed yourself a little bit over the edge on it. And that's okay. You want to push a little bit to sort of get things used to what's coming, which is more and more rehearsal. Go really deep. And when you go that deep, you can actually hear it reverberate in your ears at times. Your throat. Chest. It's funny how we want to look down when we go that low. You notice also you're taking deep breaths. Remember to breathe. You want to kind of step gently or tread gently up into those higher notes. Just don't slam it right away. There's plenty of time for that in live performance. Believe me, I know that one. And you know I know. Add a little flair. You have to get silly with it. Oh my goodness. Okay. So about 10 minutes or so on the humming, even 5 sometimes, But if I'm on the way to work, I set when I used to go on the way to work, I work from home now. I set mile markers, like I warm up my voice until I get to this red light on the hums, and then I go to the next thing. That way I know I've had enough time at it. So the next thing we move into is the we go through the scale. Time for a nice hot drink of tea. Oh, that's so refreshing for the throat. I love drinking hot water now during shows. I almost ask each club to put on a pot of hot water for me, but generally they don't have that capability, or they just don't do that kind of thing. And so I've learned to rely on a big giant thermos full of very hot water, and I drink that throughout the gig, as well as water. And during the day, especially, you should do this anyway, but during the day, especially when you're getting ready for a show or rehearsal, you want to down that water. It plumps up the vocal cords. It makes everything work better. Believe me, I know this one. When I don't do that, I don't sing as smoothly, and it's harder to get my higher notes and harder to just warm up in general. So lots of water for those beautiful vocal cords that you're using to express your feelings, the lyrics in the songs, your soul. All these things help to reach people, expressing those feelings, expressing that soul, because the world has always been really in turmoil, always has been in turmoil. And people seem to really be involved in it now. And they need us artists more than ever. They need us singers, and they need dancers and painters and everything to express, what a lot of them can't express. So rather than get on a tirade here, take another drink of hot tea. And we go into the next section. So you just follow along. This one's pretty easy to follow along. And we start on the low registers. Tongue is relaxed, mouth is relaxed. It's relaxed. It's just coming out. You just form the syllable. Then I go to E. Remember your posture, remember your relaxation, your diaphragm support. A little breathy on those low notes. I like how that makes my face look. Anyway, that's A, E, I, O, U. And then we go to the next little step up. Your chin isn't jutted forward. Your neck isn't thrown back. You got a nice straight line opening up nice and clear for those chords and those sounds to come through. Let's see, I was on E, E, I, oh, yes, it's getting pretty hot. A, E, E. I, nice and open in there, no constriction. Oh, oh. Stop anytime and get a drink. What's important is the health. You don't try to force yourself through anything. Even during a gig or rehearsal, stop, take a drink when you need to. Even if you have to stop a verse or a line, doesn't matter. The band's still playing. Okay, next. A, E, E, I, ooh, ooh. Remember, you're upright. Don't start slumping. It's best to stand, but you can also sit as long as you've got a nice supportive chair and you're upright. And you'll notice it's kind of funny, but it gets louder the higher you go. A, E, E, I don't recommend that. I, ooh, ooh. It does get to feeling kind of like an opera singer, though, especially when things open up on those I's and those O's. A, E. Now on that E, I'm starting to feel it in the back. Almost I can feel it vibrating in my ears. E, I, completely free, flowing out now. I, ooh, ooh. I have a mixture of hot water and a little bit of fruity tea and some stevia. Woo! Powerful, right? I, ooh, Ooh. And one thing I want you to pay attention to is if you got tension in your neck or your shoulders, maybe you had a hard day at work, or you've been sitting wrong, or standing in the kitchen a lot, or whatever you might be doing outside mowing the lawn if you're a guy. You could be doing any number of things, working on the car and you're all hunched over. What I forgot to mention at the beginning, which I'll mention now, is before any vocal warm up, you should really, do some gentle head rolls, just gentle. Just gentle. Don't force it. Maybe even hold it, pressing back. I mean, you can go online to wherever you're having pain. Um, Eventually I will share in the links down below once I get this video set up properly. A sports medicine guy online that's absolutely fabulous. He has some incredible shorts that will take you through some wonderful stretching exercises for your shoulders and your neck. I've got a trapezius problem going on, which I won't go into right now. And he's got me going on one or two exercises that are helping me tremendously. So again, loosen up your shoulders and your back and, stretch, reach out, loosen yourself up so that you can really be loose in your upper body to do this right for when you're warming up. Definitely before you do a show, but generally I get pretty darn warmed up from loading equipment and stuff, so I'm pretty ready to go, and my adrenaline's really flowing when I get to the show. I'm excited to give my soul, like most of you probably are. Anyway, continuing on. Let's see if I can remember the note I was on. I have no idea. Face is getting a little scrunchy now as I reach for those higher notes. I open up, I loosen my tongue and put it right down in the crevice of the back of my teeth as I reach for those high E's. The placement shifts. Get used to feeling that. That's why I say pay attention when you're first starting out to really how things are feeling and what they should feel like. And you'll find various ways to work your voice to get it to do what you need it to do without forcing it. And there's just different placements that you'll learn as you do your vocal exercises and you go along singing. A little strain there. You hear it? That's because I'm not really warmed up. I haven't been warming. Well, I'm warming up now, but I haven't been rehearsing a lot. So this is my first night coming back rehearsing. I'm sharing it with you all as I start this journey for our rehearsal in 2 weeks that we're going to have. And get ready. I want to be strong when I go in there to blast through and really be able to do what I want to do and express myself, whether in rehearsal or live shows. So just starting out again tonight, getting my voice ready. Those notes are a little tight up in there, but I can be guaranteed that as I continue this warming up every night and singing my songs, that these will open up. All this will open up. And even if you start and your voice feels darn tight and you think, oh, I can't do this tonight, give it some time. Gently warm up, gently do the humming and this vocal A-E-I-O-U thing we're doing, and you'll find that you begin to open up. Now, there will be a point when you need to stop, and we'll talk about that as we go along here. See how I pulled back and went a little bit more gentle, not pushing so forward, so much, since I know that I'm tender tonight. And even a little flat on that one note. That's okay. Ooh, O is the easiest. Ooh, and I find A is pretty easy too until I get way up there. Now I'm an alto soprano, more leaning down towards the alto side. So some of these high notes you guys will be able to hit with no problem. That's not where I can go with my voice. Oh, I'm trying to get this one thing from sticking out. There we go. I still have to look half decent, even in a vocal exercise. Anyway, I guess I'm just going to look like I have a cowlick. I'm completely at the upper palate and the back on these A's. relaxed. I'm starting to go like this. So that's just a sign. Keep it relaxed. Eee! Our natural tendency is when we go up, we're going to lift up. We're lifting a heavy package. I'm starting to feel a little strained in there. Drink. Now on those, this is where I have to stop tonight. I'm going to do another vocal exercise with you, but on those A, E, I, O, U's, that's as high as I can go tonight without forcing and causing potential damage. And you'll know those places because it'll get really tight, uncomfortable, and stressed. And again, as you do these, more and more will open up. When I was practicing for this Janice review, I was going to do just one song, but they were going to have me do not Piece of My Heart. Hey, it was Piece of My Heart. Come on. Yeah. And she sings really high. She sings higher than I can. And I don't have that ability to do that like some Janice people do. And I'm not really a Janice singer per se, but I was asked to do this. And I practiced that song every day on the way to work. And I worked on those high notes and worked those muscles in my throat gently, but consistently. And pretty soon I had a higher range. So you can do it. If you're an alto and you want to, there's a song you want to do in a higher range because you just feel it there, you can work and get up there to a certain extent. I haven't gotten back up there yet. I haven't needed to, but it is nice to have the extra ability to go higher than you normally can. It's just another way to express another type of emotion, those really high notes. So the next exercise it's a pursing of the lips. And you blow. You blow through your lips. You try to blow through your lips. And this does not shove the vocal cords together. This blows air through them. So it's really a fantastic exercise to warm up the high notes for the show. It really is. It works magically. The other two don't work as magically as this one for the high notes, but this is fantastic. And you kind of become like a siren. And you're really using your gut on this one, really using the air down here. You tighten up that gut and like you're blowing in a horn. Or I'm not a horn player, so I don't know, or a harmonica player, but you're using those, or a wind instrument person, but you really need to use those diaphragm muscles, and it will really help you. Because if I'm just blowing, I don't have to use these very much, but if I purse my lips and try to get air out, my gut immediately tightens. So that's what it'll happen automatically. I think it does for me. So the exercise is, it's almost like a beehive too. I'm watching my face. It's kind of going over to this side. Oh, you gotta be silly. I haven't performed in a while, so I'm a little bit silly. When you're a natural performer, occasionally you have to get on and do something stupid. But this isn't stupid, but I am a little silly during this teaching. Sorry. Hopefully you'll get a kick out of it and maybe laugh at yourself a little bit. And this isn't about longevity on holding this or how long you can keep your gut tight or press air through your pursed lips. It's about getting the pressure so that it will blow open those vocal cords and the air will flow through. And you're not, as I said earlier, you're not slamming those cords together. You're actually warming them up by just blowing the air through them with this exercise. If you can imagine that happening, going up and opening, the throat opening here, just imagine that. Imagine the vocal cords out shaking to the sides as you do this. And again, the mile marker thing. I do the A-E-I-O-U. I do 2 of each one for as many registers as I can until it gets too uncomfortable. That's the mile marker, is the uncomfortable mark on that one. But as far as the next one, I set another mile marker. Okay, I'll do this until State Street, or I'll do this until I get to work. It's usually 2 to 5 minutes that I end up doing this one. More towards the 5-minute mark because it's important. If you're headed to a show, you definitely want to make sure you have this one on board. But you want to definitely do the low register as well. And you don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. Just make sure you start thinking of a siren or bee's nest humming. Bee's hive, I should say. Keep those shoulders relaxed. The nice thing about all 3 of these exercises is you can be driving and doing them. Like, we're getting ready for a gig. I'm loading equipment. I've been warming up my voice every night for maybe 2 weeks, intensively, getting ready for a 2 to 3 hour blast, because I don't sing easy. I'm an intense singer. Even on slow stuff, I'm really working the lyric within the melody pocket. Within the pocket, I'm working the melody within and the lyric within the pocket. And, I might sing things differently a lot of times. Many times I sing it the same, but a lot of my songs have really sort of intense moments. And so I have to be ready for that intensity. So it's important that I do this and get ready at least 2 weeks ahead of time. When I was in tour in Europe a few times, literally the shows were so intense and we hardly had any sleep. I'd be warming up on the way to the gig with these exercises. These same ones have followed me around all of my life, and maybe sing a little bit of a song as well, and then I'd be ready for the gig. But I didn't have to sing every day in Europe like I do here when I'm preparing for a show, because we were having shows all the time. So I was pretty much ready except for warming up. I got to one show, I think it was in, actually, I don't know where it was. I don't have a good memory for all this stuff I've gone through in my life, because I've done a lot and gone through a lot. But I remember being in the hotel room before the show and exhausted, and my voice sounded like a razor blade, on, I don't know, what do you put a razor blade on? A razor blade on jagged wood. It just was not good. And I gently started these exercises, and before you know it, I was ready. So they do work, even in the harshest circumstances. There was one show in Germany that I had to sing in lower registers because we'd had many shows in a row. And so I had to pull back and sing in a lower register. Now you can do that. You don't have to be afraid, because the people want the energy. So if you're not hitting those notes that they hear on the CD, 10 times out of 10, they won't even know it. And you just give. You just do the best you can and you give. There was one show, it's online. It's called Cherry Red Wine. It's a song by Luther Allison, one of my favorites. And we're in, I don't know, again, Germany maybe. I can't remember. Amsterdam, one of those wonderful places over there. And I'm sick and I'm exhausted to the bone. And I'm warming up in the back room and come out. And I'll tell you what, we blew that thing out of the water. Sometimes when you're exhausted and you don't, It's not that you don't care. You're just so exhausted. You just, okay, put me on stage and I'll do it. And by God, it happens. I don't know, some adrenaline from the deep angst of your soul and the marrow of your bones comes out and it happens. I can tell you story after story, which I hope to do in upcoming videos of my journey in this blues and this roots and this writing of material and stuff. But back to this for a second. Again, I feel like out of all the three things I've shown you, this is probably one of the most important, but you don't want to just go into this one right away. You want to do the other two first, save this one for last. You can do as high as you want, as you can. It's also a good breath strengthener. A good, how long can you hold your breath? And do this, and don't force it, but just notice when you take a deep breath and you do it, you're amazed. I'm amazed at how long I can actually go with those sirens. You can work those muscles as well in your gut and maybe get a tighter belly. I don't know that there's much hope for my bubbly belly, but that's okay. I don't care anymore. I'm not putting on a bikini anytime soon. You hear me? So there are other vocal exercises on the web, and one of them I do like. I will share with you. I don't do this all the time, but I think I will start incorporating it. It's that lip trill thing or the tongue trill. And see, I haven't practiced it a lot. Let's see if I can do it. The secret is to keep everything really loose. Although if you try to force it or make it happen, it goes flat. See if I push right here and disengage those muscles, it happens. It's the same principle. It blows open those vocal cords. It's just not as intense. Like the siren really engages the diaphragm. This one sort of you can keep the diaphragm rather loose if you find that you want to. But I'm pushing when you hear me go like an engine. That's my diaphragm pushing. But I don't have to hold it as tight as I do on the siren exercise. If I try to do this without disengaging these muscles, doesn't work as well. There's also the tongue trill. Have you ever, singers out there that are experienced, been at a gig and in the middle of singing something, man, you got to burp. You should see me. Sometimes I'm in the middle of a line and I'm like turning my head, and, putting my hand up and burping off mic, of course. It usually doesn't happen too much because I try to eat at least 3 hours before a gig. And that's another tip you should probably be aware of if you have a hiatal hernia like I do. And you know what that's from? It's from carrying gear. I mean, heavy gear. These days you can get lighter gear, but I mean, I slugged gear in my early days. I slugged a heavy PA system, 2 heavy, huge speakers, 2 heavy, huge monitors, and a big main board. So, and I pretty much was proud of it. I slugged it into the place, hooked it up, slugged it out of the car and into the house and out of the house and into the car over and over and over again. So that's part of the reason I have one. And I won't go into the other reasons, but I have that, and it causes me to have to eat 3 hours before I go to bed. So that's why the burping comes, and that's why I try not to eat 3 hours before a gig or drink any bubbly stuff like seltzer water or any kind of those flavored bubbly waters. So everything's really open in the back. Again, when you hear me rev up, I'm using my diaphragm. If I just do it without using my diaphragm, You can, but what's the point? Engage that thing. Engage that diaphragm engine. I kind of like that one. I think I'm going to add it to my routine. So there's a few, 4 for you, or 5 actually. Time for me to stop. My throat's getting dry, and big indication, a big proof that I haven't been rehearsing as much as I need to. Well, as much as I need to right now. Came off a cold. It was really brutal and all that kind of stuff, but I get a true joy out of singing. And when I get lazy and I say, I don't feel like singing tonight, I don't have time, but if I do it anyway, I'm lifted, man. I'm lifted. Now, what I do after I warm up my voice, if I'm on the way home from work and I have a lot of time, I've already warmed up my voice in the morning, maybe on the way to work. Because my time has been so short in the past, when I'm getting ready for a gig or a rehearsal, I will warm up on the way to work, do a little bit of warm up at the end of the day on my way home, but I won't spend much time. Maybe a few hums, maybe a few of those sirens to get things really opened up again. And then I'll start singing my songs. And as well, if I'm on the way to the gig, I've already loaded all the equipment. I've moved my body, got the blood flowing, stretching my neck, releasing, really doing that a lot. On the way to the gig, I'll do those warm-up exercises. And I most likely, I will only do the first 3 I showed you. That's all. Tonight I've already talked 42 minutes, but I've added a lot of things in between. But normally this should take you maybe 5 minutes on each one. You can, of course, do it longer if you want. Don't let me place any time limits on you if you need more. But if you're warming up and singing on a regular basis, you shouldn't. So what I do is I'll warm up as I'm going to the gig and set my mile markers and get it done. And then I'll start singing maybe one of my lighter songs. Like tonight, I will sing a little bit of Stripped Down and Surrendered. I don't know if you can hear this music, but, oh, that's the wrong song. We don't want that one. This is, I don't know if you can hear it. Stripped Down and Surrendered. It's off our Stripped Down and Surrendered CD. This is a really cool little song to sing along with for me because it's low, but I get to put some emphasis here and there, which helps me grab and start grabbing and stretching those muscles a little bit more. So I'll do a little bit for you to show you. 50 years, day and night, dancing on tables, trying to prove I was all right. But here we are, all that's done and gone, and my heart feels as big as a damn King Kong. I've been stripped down and surrendered. I've been stripped down and surrendered. It won't pause. Okay, there we go. So did you hear that? I hit some low areas. I got to put in a little growl. 50 years, day and night. Practicing the flare. Dancing on tables, trying to prove I was all right. So you have the ins and outs of intensity, which I can go into more of this in a different lesson. But here we are, gentle, pulling back into that vibrato. All that's done and gone, add a little growl. And my heart feels as big as a damn King Kong. See, you get, all this emphasis is very important because you're an actor. You're an actress. You're bringing this thing alive for people. I've been stripped down and surrendered. Well, I've been stripped. Add a little high note there. Jump up in there. Down and surrendered. Now, I don't really ever think about these things. When I'm working up a vocal, I think of ways I can make it come alive. I don't sit there and go, oh, I'm going to go high here. I'm going to go low there. It just kind of begins to happen because I wrote the song. I'm feeling the song. I'm feeling the lyrics. That's what's so great about writing your own songs. And, you can climb into other people's songs and do the same thing. But when it's your own, it's coming from the source, baby. It's coming from your blood. It's coming from your experience, your bones. So without getting into too much teaching about songwriting or continued vocal lesson, this was strictly meant to be like a vocal warm up and showing you what I do. Maybe you picked up some great hints from it, some great tips. I hope so. Got a little silly in between there. And I plan to do more teaching on how to sing. And I'll end with this, which nobody can sing like me, and nobody can sing like you, because you got a unique thing in there. And if you're just discovering it, keep working it, because that's what I did. And it wasn't that I discovered it, I wanted it. And there was something in me that wanted it. And so I began to pursue it. And I've got a story around that I'll tell. I don't know if it'll be next time I do a podcast, but maybe it will, about how I wanted it. And I had to chase it, and I had to go for it. And that's my soul path. And that's why I can't quit even today. So again, I hope you got a lot out of this. This is my first time doing a live YouTube. So might have been a little rough. I'm not even sure how to end this thing. I'm looking around now. Oh, there it is, end stream. Okay, so let me know how you liked it. And let me know if you have any questions, because I'm happy to address those in a future video. This is my first venture into this, like I said before, and I'm excited, very excited to share my heart and soul with you and the journey that I've taken to get here, because I guess I'm going to end with something else too. I'm 67, so how much longer do I have, to give and to share? Maybe share some experience, strength, and hope that can help you in your life before I die. Because at a certain point, it becomes not about wearing the bikini, validation, in any way, or bikini, or singing on stage, your head off, or, being at the top of the mountain at your business or whatever. It becomes about giving. You've done all that. You've stepped off the proving ground, and now it's giving. And that's where I am. And I'm very happy to be here. If you're in a lot of angst about your life, you'll get there. I hope, I pray. And if you do the work, if you do the soul searching and the work, you'll get there. Keep the faith. Keep doing what you love. I don't want to say no matter what the cost, because that's up to you to decide. But for me, I had to do it no matter what the cost. And now I'm cautious about the cost. So there comes a point when you become cautious about the cost, because the dream didn't open up financially like you wanted it to, but it opened up financially for your soul. Your soul got rich, and my soul got rich. And I'm still digging for more riches, because life is still painful at times, emotionally and spiritually. So love you all, and I'll see you on the next episode. Cee Cee James, Ministry of the Blues. Check it out for tonight.